Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for a weekly angel reading for October the 9th through the 15th, 2017. So let's just take a moment to take a deep breath and to just clear our minds and our hearts of any outside distractions. Only allowing ourselves to now just be nurtured by the love that is within your heart, and allowing your mind to become focused within the sacred space of love that resides within your heart in its beautiful perfection of God. And just allow yourself now to sort of pierce through the veil of illusion and into the very heart and soul of the Creator. And just allow your heart to open to the Creator, to God. And any criticism or judgments or any mental talk that comes up, just let it be. Don't try to do anything with it. Don't try to resist it. Just know that it's an illusion, a fear that your ego is projecting, in which it thinks it's protecting you from something that it does not understand or have a concept of. And it does not have an understanding or concept of the vastness, the unlimitedness, the freedom, the peace, the unconditional love of God. It has no idea what to make of it. So it's not evil when it twists things to distort your understanding or to sabotage or to kind of keep you held back from stepping into that light of truth, that abundance, that vast opening of love where it is endless, and your heart can just, and all of its resources can flow into this, with unceasingly. It's afraid of that vortex opening, but you don't have to be afraid of it. It's time for you to now face it as it is facing you. The truth of God, the truth of your purpose and your inner light, your inner being is facing you. And it's helping you right now to make a very smooth transition, is the word they wrote. Trying to help you make a smooth transition. But just like in the beginning of this meditation, the ego is still going to put up its defenses of protection. It thinks it's protecting you. And you don't need to be afraid of love. You don't need to be afraid of your own love. One of the things is that you got to stop thinking to yourself that you lack love. You lack nothing, because the Creator that you're an extension of lacks nothing. And so when you start talking about the things that you lack, you start to feel less divine. And this is the reason, because you're now talking yourself out of of what you truly possess. You're talking yourself out of alignment and communication with the Creator, who speaks on a frequency vastly different, completely different from the ego. The ego's language, its understanding is erroneous. Every piece of it, there's not 1 ounce, 1 speck of truth that resides within it, even though it finds ways to compel you to believe in its insanity. And only you and I can let that go by recognizing our own truth, by recognizing peace and freedom and even relief. The path of relief should not be underestimated, because what you need to be working towards, especially when anxiety and tensions and confusions sort of build up and you feel, overwhelmed, and you feel almost like you're plugged, like you just can't move, you can't think, you can't figure anything out, where to go, how to go about it. You need to then, instead of trying to buck against that resistance, what you need to do is look for the path of relief now, right in the moment where you are. Don't try to find a path of relief to the problem that you are perceiving, that the ego is projecting. Because if you interact with the ego's projection, even to protect yourself against it, what you're doing is you're reacting, you are interacting with it, and you're feeding it and causing it to expand rather than decrease. So you won't get relief, if you understand. You're going to get more of what you're cycling. You're going to get your intensity, the lack of, is going to intensify. Your vulnerability is going to intensify. Your lack of powerlessness is going to intensify, not decrease. So you have to think about some of the things, that positive things that help you to find that alignment. And it's really important for you, this is like they're writing out the word gay, which in this context, what they're meaning here is that you are all right now, you're coming out of the spiritual closet. Your soul is coming out of its closet. None of us has been revealing our true inner being, our true inner light, because our ego has cautioned you against it. The ego has made you feel ashamed of your inner truth, your desires, your dreams, your goals. It makes you feel unworthy of them. And it's like this for people who live in our society who feel different for a myriad of different reasons. There are many things that make one feel isolated and different, and then isolated, and that isolation it becomes shame. And so it's the same thing that's going on with our soul. And one of the things that you're going to find is that as there's a lot of contention and we're bucking against one another because we don't understand our actions and our belief systems, it makes it difficult for people to tap into their inner being. And so there's a lot of resistance to this coming out of the soul, this coming out of the inner light, the inner being that we're experiencing right now. And it's globally affecting all of us, and we're seeing it displayed in different ways. And it's sort of it feels like it's reaching a peak. But it's not for anything for us to be afraid of. We don't need to be afraid of the voice that we're hearing within, and the changes that it's asking us to put into place, to allow them, because the changes that you pray for in the world, they are already prepared for you. I just love that psalm when it says, "Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of those that trouble me." It means it's always what we want is wherever we're going, that there's a feast, a table for you to 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 live out all of your desires, all of your pleasures. It's already there, your dreams, your goals. The table's already prepared, but we're not always prepared to feast. And the ego can project, oh, that the table is empty, or that the table has been spoiled, or that the table is surrounded by um, adversaries who would uh, seek to take away that which you are wanting. So we have to be very careful about the ego and its projections, because it's afraid of that, and so it creates walls of illusions, and shows something very different than what is. And the angels want you to not be afraid to come out of your spiritual closet, to release your your inner light. Don't be afraid to take action on these intuitive instincts that you are receiving, and the guidance that you're getting. You know, I've been mentioning the ascension process in some of the writings, and maybe in the videos as well. And we're seeing various symptoms. We were talking about this last week. What I would actually like for everyone to do is to maybe leave in the comments section some of your experiences, some of the things that you're noticing, like that we were talking about last week. It just may feel like things are just kind of going upside down, so to speak. You know, like you're going one direction and you think you're aiming this way, and then things seemingly are backfiring, or just coming out in ways that you're not expecting it, or you're feeling a lot of symptoms of fatigue, or you're having trouble in your communications. You're noticing that people aren't hearing each other, or you're in a conversation and you aren't hearing one another, and there's a lot of conflict, or you may even find that your electronics are just for unknown reasons all of a sudden just blowing out, or light switches or things like this. You just notice that there's a lot of unusual heat. um, that things are heated a lot, and so what are some of the things, and what I really want you to focus on, because they're showing me the witch's hat, so that spiritual power, representing your spiritual power. What I really am curious to find out is, what are the things that help you to feel in alignment? What takes you there? And one of the things that they've been speaking to me about this week, and even this morning, was the going out in nature, and what is known as the fairy glens. And I've experienced this. I went on a workshop many years ago, and that's when I discovered what I had already been encountering. I love it that all of this work for me was something I discovered before I actually came across Doreen Virtue's work, and it was like a confirmation. And the fairy glens, I've always noticed that in certain spots in nature, all of a sudden it would just be this very peaceful, almost like you're in this no time zone, like where time just kind of feels like it's paused for some reason, but it's extremely peaceful, and your heart is captivated. It's the best way I can explain it right now. But this would be a great place, if you can find them, or anything that makes you feel at peace in nature, to go there to kind of get refueled, kind of get your energy boosted, to clear and balance, and to release things, and clear your mind and clear your heart, so that there isn't any sort of walls around your heart that keeps your guard up. See, because if the ego can project a wall, an image of illusion, then what you and I do to protect ourselves, we put up a wall or shield over our heart. And the fairies wanted me to clarify something, because we've all heard things like that fairies have egos, and they will give you assignments, and because they won't trust you right away. But what they were kind of giving me this morning reminded me of, because I've seen their faces, and their faces, no matter what kind of fairy it is, it always is childlike. And so they were trying to explain to me this morning that it's like their ego is, because they live in our dimension, they do have an ego, but their ego is more like the innocence of a child. And so, you know, children trust in a very, very different way. They're very open. The thing about it is not that you can't see them, that they're hiding from you as much as you're hiding from them. Because when you have walls up, when you are hiding in your spiritual closet and not allowing your inner light to you know to be free and open, you have a hard time connecting with them, actually. So and service, it's not like they require you to do service for them necessarily. They're asking you to do service for the earth. But the whole key point about service for them is the reason they seek it from you is because they know that it helps you to access or tap into your heart. It's like tapping on the door. Anytime you serve, that's why we're all inspired to serve, because it's like a knock on our door of our heart, and we automatically answer, meaning we open the door. We release that spiritual light and truth. And so they're not giving you assignments in service of them. It's to help you to connect to the service of God within you. And every time you seek to serve, you knock on that door. You hear the knock of God on your door, really, and you open it because you know his knock. And it's always through service and experiencing and expressing your love. So also, if you're inspired by certain activities of service, or music, or whatever it is that allows you to your heart to open, drawing or going to a museum, just I'd like for you to share that with us in the comments. And what I may do is just sort of create some mini small videos where I share it. Also, I may also share some of your ideas on our Facebook page. So if you haven't ever gone to the Facebook page, do that and like that page, and where you can read the daily card messages, and I can share some of your ideas about how you are coping with the ascension process. And also, it'd be a great place to also share and comment there, and sort of have a feed so everybody can sort of go, wow, that's happening with me too. So to create a community for this, the energies of this ascension process right now is what I've been guided to help us with, so we can all learn from what helps us and what's going on, so we can stop fighting it, because right now we're in a lot of resistance because we don't understand what's going on. But once we come together as a community and combine our resources and our stories, I think it will help us to feel less crazed by it all. Because it kind of makes you feel like you're insane at moments, because things, especially for most of us, and including myself, where I can maintain an alignment, but it seems like it goes in waves, and like we're having a wave right now of the ascension process, frequencies intensifying to help draw out more clarity, more truth. But we keep reacting to it, and the ego's projection just makes it seem like insanity that you want to run away from, and we don't want to do that. We want to let those walls go down, and so we can get to that spiritual power, truth that lies behind any illusion of fear. Okay, so let's take a look here at the card for this week. and this is the going to be the theme of our week. And it's okay. It's Archangel Ariel, and the message is spread your wings. And it says, do not hold back right now. The timing is perfect, and you are ready to soar. So Archangel Ariel's name means the lioness of God, and she is the nature archangel. So I've seen her as sort of, she is the one who's kind of um, watches over the fairies and their realm and that involves nature and anything that supports nature. And the thing I'm getting a sense of right now is, um, using nature to support you, and being more in connection with nature, to help support your own alignment and balance, so that your dreams and goals, that you have the clarity, because it's like there's like a fog that's going on in the mind and in the heart, and it's because, as you focus and react to everything that's happening, um, it creates a cloud, because you're giving all of your attention to the illusion rather than the clarity, or the pristine clarity of the truth. And where you would see direction, you would be trust your instincts and your intuition. The right now, this is a huge shift going on, and we know this, and this is a sign here. And right now, the word qualify. The, so I guess use this as a way to qualify um, the ascension energies and how they're working. It's reminding you to stay in integrity. So when things get fuzzy like this, it means that you're not, and this is not, they're not criticizing you. They're telling you this in order to liberate you, okay? So that you don't fight. Because when you fight, you're not free. They want you to let it go and focus on integrity. Focus on your soul's light, your soul's integrity. Don't get caught up in this, okay? So it's very, very important that you use this as a sort of a sign, that fuzziness. And that means immediately, not like that, but do do what do what would give you a sense of relief. Meaning, if it's playing some music, or composing some music, or you get the idea, or writing in a journal, or working on a project that inspires you. Inspiration is the key to finding balance and alignment. Doing something that pleasures you can put you back in that place. Exercise, and they talked about diet even in the card messages this week and in our reading last week. So be aware of substances that alter the brain. Even natural things like white sugar. And be aware now of the chemical influences of your diet, and especially if you're doing it as a substitute to sort of smooth things over, because that's what the ego was doing with projecting all these walls, and it had numbed us for a long time. And now with this wave of ascension process is to start to bring those walls down slowly. So it's denumbing, if that's a word or not. Excuse me, but it's trying to bring you down slowly. It's like bringing you off those pain meds if a doctor was giving you, so you can start to feel what's going on. And the only way you can heal is to feel. So don't try to not feel, but try to be present. Your truth is much more powerful. It's a bomb of alignment that can actually assist you in making the choice, or seeing the choice of the opportunity, using an opportunity or choice to improve your state of mind, or your your alignment. See, it's about using this kind of clarity, which leads to success and rewards and opportunity, as the way, because those things are building. they're spiritual builders in terms of building your goals and your dreams. That's where you're really going to find that inner peace and fulfillment and satisfaction, not from you know um, you know overeating or drowning yourself out in narcotics, or you get my point. Okay, so all right, let's take a look at the cards for the week and see how our week starts off. Okay, and this card, this is the strength card. And what I love about this card is the image here of the lion and the lamb here. And it's about, you know, this concept of, it's not about one is better than the other, one is better than the other, or good versus evil. It's about how God sees everything that he has created as this variety, and and each is a variety of strengths in its own right, a variety of powers in its own right. Now we would tend to go strong, weak, but it's just a variety. The lamb is a variety, another variety of power, another variety of strength. And what we don't want to play into, and this is sort of an ascension um, shift here, what we don't want to play into is labeling people as this or that, but rather um, another variety of this. You see what I mean? If you get that point. And so in your interactions, and even how we look at ourselves, because we are always, saying, well, I'm good at this, and oh, I'm so terrible. I do it a lot, especially like I feel like I'm not the kind of person who's very good with understanding finances, or calculating things in my head, or and I'll make a big issue out of it, and it immobilizes me. It stops me from doing a lot of different things, and then think about how it feels when you do it to yourself. Now think about it when you do it to other people. If it alienates you from yourself, then doing this to others alienates you as well. I mean, it alienates you, because then that's one less person that you could tap into, in terms of the interaction being one of a variety of strengths and powers that you could collaborate with, versus isolating yourself and being suspicious or feeling guilty or feeling inferior, and then not missing out on that divine connection, because there's always a divine connection in every relationship, in everything, because the divine is what's real, and everything and everyone was created by it, and so therefore it is divine. But we, through the projection of our ego, we separate, we tear down, we isolate, and we sometimes try to annihilate. But it's all the projection of the illusion. And so at the beginning of this week, what we're getting into is that you're going to learn to step into your spiritual power and combine all forces. And I'm feeling a strong sense of collaborations, maybe new collaborations, opening up for you. If you're willing to forgive, and what that means is you're forgiving yourself. You're not forgiving other people. You're forgiving. Forgiveness is for you. God didn't create forgiveness for him towards you. It's for you when you drop the wall that your ego is projecting, and it feels like forgiveness. It's more of the energy of forgiveness is what you're really, the word is all about, and you feel this openness and this towards everything else. You feel like you have access, and you have access to things and people that you didn't have access to before. You see them differently. You see how you can work together, things coming together. So that lion and the lamb is about coming together, coming together in some way. And you may be the one who is able to effect this in situations, because you're going to stand in your truth and you're not going to be afraid to come out of your spiritual closet and let that light shine to show who you really are unconditionally, without judgment or criticism. Because remember, just because you don't understand something, but when you judge someone for it, you create pain for them, guilt and shame. And if you're doing that to them, you're doing it unto yourself also. So that when you have those things that you're dealing with and that self talk happens, you can't find a way to forgive yourself. The only way to find forgiveness for yourself, the healing, the relief that you're seeking, is to give it to others. And the only way to give it to others is to not see them as this or that, but a variety of all of that. Okay? Let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. All right, and we have the Empress card. And this is just really indicating that we need to tap in to those inner resources of the first of all, this is letting you know that your inner being is spiritually abundant. And we have two major arcana cards here. Okay? And what happens when you stop judging? This is a strength to not judge. Compassion is what this card is really about. Compassion is a spiritual value and a power, strength. And when you release that power, you have access. That's the knock on the door. And out comes every desire, every dream. I mean, the Empress is the sort of the giver of life, okay? Which representing one of the aspects of God, the giver of life, the giver of all desires, all pleasures, all dreams, and all experiences that are abundant in resources and of love. So anything, your creativity, it's just time now to channel your creativity. This is what they mean about spread your wings right now. This is a huge time right now. This is an opportune moment. And I'm noticing that the clarity of purpose is becoming stronger. So you're getting some strong ideas. They're writing out blessings here. So there are just the blessings that are coming to you right now are directing that purpose, are directing you to be to that towards honesty. This is the word I'm seeing. Is forming your prayers so that they are more in alignment with what you truly desire, so that there isn't this major delay or sort of the outcome is not quite what one would have expected. So be open in your heart. Do whatever keeps your heart open, whatever channel, whatever type of activity that gives you that sense of freedom, peace, and relief. Okay? I mean, these are the things, and I think it's in this order. Peace, because it came up in the writing. It's whatever gives you peace, then freedom and relief. Channel that. Don't be afraid to come out, okay? And pursue that. This is a time for you to now to step into your spiritual power, not to go try to hide in the closet. Change. You know, this is going to be, yeah, of course, I'm saying the word change here. Yeah, you're going to have to change. Yes, change is going to happen to you as a result. But you're going to be better for it. You don't be afraid to see what person you can become or the person that you are becoming. You always want to be open to the person that you're becoming. You don't really want your clock to kind of set, do you? You know? And what is it that you want? You want you to stay the same and then the world maybe to change around you? Well, if you stay the same and the world changes around you, this is what they're throwing in my head right now, then you will be resistant to all of those changes even more. You'll become obstinate because you'll become set in your ways. And then everything that you think you're praying for you will reject it because it's not working to your old ways. You're set in the ways, attitude. And so this isn't going to work for you. And you know it. And you've probably already been experiencing this because most of us, when it comes to change, we're set in our ways, right? Okay, so let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. Now, I had thoughts about this card today. I mean, literally, I was lying in bed thinking about I was gonna do the messages today, and this card came up, and I started to think about Doreen's various tarot decks and this card and how it looked in each one and the symbolism. So here it is. And this is the one that I really don't get at all. But this card is, this card is about pain. And this is the only minor arcana card here so far. It traditionally is about pain and suffering. And we've been talking about that already here today. So it's like the first thing I'm sort of getting, the only thing that's standing in your way is the pain and suffering that you focus on. Okay? And I feel like you have to channel that pain and suffering through some creative love, passion, or service. I want to say purpose, but I'm feeling like the word today is service. To take that pain and channel it through service. To no longer see that pain as this or that, or blame through blame, but to see it as, to forgive it, and then to see it for what it is, what it's helping you to, how it's helping you to grow and evolve. The deeper the pain, the greater the joy. So if you could just get past the pain and start to focus on what strengths has prospered as a result of this journey. How can you turn this into a strength? They're showing me a hammer. So it's like you can turn this into something else. You can build upon this. You can use it, and the only way to build upon it is to use it in service. That's the way to transmute it. That's the way to access the compassion, is to use it in service. Do you think that just because I do this, I know everything and that my life is perfect? No. The reason that I am even here is because of the pain that I dealt with in my life, the huge blow in 2002 to my life, that it shifted me. And so that's why I'm here. And the only reason I've been able to grow is because of doing this, and the readings and the writings. Every time I do it, I channel that love, which transmutes and creates a wholeness, because being in this space allows me to be open. My guards are down and I get to hear those divine messages. So don't think that you have to wait or hesitate to do something because you're not perfect. I mean, the angel said this to me once, and I don't know if I can repeat it again, but they said that it's because of your imperfections. No, that's not how they said it. But it's this, in your imperfections, you are a perfection. Is sort of the way it was said. It means that all of that we go through, everything that's going on, it is helping to reveal who we truly are. It's all just unveil. And but the other piece of it is that what you see as an imperfection, to God is your perfection. Because your imperfections, that's something you're judging. You're seeing it. but it's just another variety of of a strength. It's just another variety of a strength. It makes you unique, and it causes you to react and respond in certain ways that actually creates your spiritual strength and your spiritual power. The contrast, they kind of play with each other in a way, and they build upon one another. The reaction, the chemistry of your um, imperfections is what actually makes you a perfection. It's the chemistry of how they interact in the world of duality that they build and they create um, other divine sparks. It's like they spark inspiration, and that's a form of perfection. So don't hold back. Don't keep creating excuses to not live out your purpose, your spiritual purpose. All right, so I'm taking the card from the bottom that I already pulled, and this is the Eight of Spring. And this message says stress that comes from having many things happening at once, successful multitasking, sudden events, or changes. So, what's going to be underlying this week is a lot of shifts. So, this is good, okay? Because this means that um, things are going to be shifting in order to help you to perfect. It's going to feel imperfect, but it's helping you to recognize your perfection, which is your light, which is your truth. And this is an opportunity for you. You may feel like you're just busy, but and moving around, and a lot of things are going on. Things are. There's a lot of contrast, opportunities, rewards, and things that dumbfound you, or sort of catch you off guard, or make you have to work a little bit harder. But the energy of this card is what's important. It means this is a card of momentum and speed, fast speed. So what you have to do is stay centered, take deep breaths, don't react, don't resist, surrender the walls, let the guards come down, let your heart be open. You don't need to put up walls. Your heart, the love that comes from your heart, is the protection you're seeking. It is the variety you're seeking, the abundance you're seeking. It's all of the things that you're wanting. So don't tuck it away. Let it out, let it shine. Okay, and remember to do those things that can help you to connect. And don't forget to share. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings. And to share on my Facebook page, you can go to the link below, and it'll take you to my Facebook page where I post the daily card messages there as well. So I'll look forward to speaking with you there. I'll probably maybe post something for the ascension process so that you can put your comments there. And as well as, don't forget to check out the daily card messages that we will be looking at. And at some point, once I've looked at all of them, I will share them, like I said, maybe in a video here on YouTube. So you can also leave comments here as well on the YouTube page. If you're looking for an angel reading, feel free to contact me at theangelschool.com, which you can find, go to the services page, and you can find the angel readings there. If you're experiencing these ascension symptoms and some other things that you just want to help yourself to find clarity and kind of get sort of in a clear space again, so you can just really take off on what you're doing, then feel free to contact me for a reading for that. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and remember that God loves you unconditionally, and there's never a moment or hiccup where that gets turned off. Like the light of God never goes out. It's not like electricity in your or a light bulb blowing out. It doesn't do that. It stays. It remains constant. So don't think the opposite and get yourself all bundled, tangled up inside over something that God is waiting there to help you forgive yourself. So until next week, God bless you.